Coming up next, Forecaster John Bordash goes over the latest forecast, timing of the winter storm, and impacts you can expect in southern Maryland and across the mid-Atlantic. Stay tuned. This live forecast begins shortly. Coming up next, Forecaster John Bordash goes over the latest forecast, timing of the winter storm, and impacts you can expect in southern Maryland and across the mid-Atlantic. Stay tuned. This live forecast begins shortly.
After a 2-year snow drought, accumulating snow is looking likely for southern Maryland. As snow moves into southern Maryland, turn to JB Weather for the latest. Forecaster John Bordash will be providing around-the-clock coverage, providing the latest analysis, forecast updates, and live reports to keep you and your family ahead of the storm. When winter weather strikes, JB Weather is looking out for you.
Brought to you by our sponsors: William Richmond Inc., Farmers Home and Auto Insurance, the Bob Koski Agency, R.E. Graves Heating and Air Conditioning, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, McNeil's Group Properties, the Charleston Senior Community, and Chesapeake's Bounty. Now, here's a weather alert update from JB Weather.
Alright, and hello everyone, I'm Forecaster John Bordash with you right now to give you the latest update right here from the Storm Lab on the latest information you can expect here in southern Maryland and across the mid-Atlantic. We have a pretty imminent winter storm knocking on our doorstep. We're going to be seeing some pretty decent snow totals, the biggest we've seen in over 750 days. It has definitely been that long, and we can get right into it. A new feature is that ticker you'll see running at the bottom here in a second. Yesterday we had about 30 towns on there. I asked for some feedback on it. We've added another 30, so we're up to about like 62 or 63 towns on there. So if you miss your town, you have to wait a little bit to get it, but you will see snow totals for your location in southern Maryland and across the mid-Atlantic down that way. But let's get right into it, and you can see it down there. We are now up to a level 5 on the snow index. It is time. We're talking shovels and sleds. Significant accumulating snow is going to be moving in over the next 24 hours across the region. Now, as you push this on forward, we do have a winter storm warning in effect for just about everyone in the mid-Atlantic. Coastal locations near the Atlantic, so we're talking southern parts of New Jersey, much of Delaware, the lower eastern shore, and the lower parts of the Bay as well, are under that winter weather advisory for lower totals. Every county in our coverage zone, Calvert County, St. Mary's, Charles, PG, Anne Arundel, King George, and Westmoreland County, everyone in that region is under a winter storm warning in points north and west. This extends all the way up to New York and all the way down towards Richmond. So this is going to be a high-impact storm. And for us, we're going to be talking about the biggest snow totals in our region really coming for the day tomorrow with some additional snow possible on Monday. Here's the storm overview, and I actually want to skip this graphic. Let's get right into it. Tomorrow, we're going to be dealing with phase 1 of this system. Storm system's going to be moving across parts of the Ohio Valley. That's going to help to spread snow across the region. We have cold air diving in from the north, and that's really going to allow for a nice 10 to 12-hour period of some snow falling. There could be some breaks in there, but we will be talking about snow between about 7 a.m. and about 7 p.m., so from about sunrise to sunset. After sunset, that's when that icy mix down south and the rain down south begin to move into our region, because that area low pressure is going to die off, form right up along the coastline, throw warmer air back into our region, and we could be talking about a decent amount of rain in our region Sunday night going into the day on Monday. We could see some breaks in that too, so it is very possible after the snow and a little bit of sleet and some rain that Monday morning there is not much going on. That is 100% possible, and that's going to happen as that coastal low begins to get its act together, and then that's going to head off to the north and west. that will allow for some cold air to come in. The biggest question I have is, will that cold air be allowed to come as far south as southern Maryland to transition us back over to snow? With this, we will have a heavy band of snow that sets up somewhere on the East Coast, either in New England, in the upper mid-Atlantic, or the lower mid-Atlantic. The question is where, and we really won't know that until Monday when we see it happening. It is very hard to forecast what we call a deformation band ahead of time. We have a couple of scenarios on the table. The first one is that these systems take a more northerly track. This is looking a little bit more likely, where both areas of low pressure go further to the north, and most of our accumulation comes from phase 1, higher accumulations to the north. Now, what still does have a chance that I'm not totally ruling out is that both of these systems take a little bit more of a southerly track. With that, we would see snow from both phases, some pretty significant snow, and we would be upping totals if that were to be the case. That is about a 35% chance of happening, but I am not ruling it out. What time is the snow going to start? I know that's going to be a big question that a lot of people are waiting to ask. I think around our region, we're talking around 7 o'clock. About 1 to 4 o'clock if you're down towards parts of the central and southern Shenandoah Valley, across much of central Virginia and southern Maryland between 4 and 7. Again, in our region, probably closer to 7. And then the further north and west you head, the later that's going to be. So if you're up towards Annapolis, Baltimore, or Dover, probably 7 to 10. And then if you're towards Philadelphia, probably a little bit closer towards 10 to 1 o'clock. How much snow are we talking? That's another big question. This is going to come in 2 phases, as we said. So let's first look at each forecast as is. With phase 1, much of our region, 3 to 6 inches of snow. This is not that different from the forecast I put out yesterday. Southern Calvert and southern St. Mary's County might only see 2 to 4, probably closer to 4, but might only see 2 to 4 because you will transition over terrain in the evening sooner than other locations will. Now, there is the potential that we see a heavier band of snow set up tomorrow afternoon across our region. If that does indeed happen, and that can sit over us for a couple of hours, these totals will be too low by about an inch or 2, and that is 100% possible. This is where I'm going to start with, though, and we'll see how tomorrow evolves, but I think that this is a really good starting point for your expectations as you head into the day tomorrow, again, starting around 7 o'clock. Then we transition over to a period of ice and then rain. I don't think the ice is going to be a huge issue in our region. That'll likely be a bigger issue to our north and west. We should have a pretty easy transition over to rain across southern Maryland. I think we're talking maybe a glaze of ice in some locations Sunday evening. So during the day Sunday, you're not going to want to travel because of the snow. It's going to be cold. The roadways are now cold. It will accumulate right away. And this will be a wet snow. So this will accumulate and it will be hard to drive through. Then in the evening, you're not going to want to drive because you have the residual snow and then the ice. Yeah, ice is going to be a bigger issue along I-95 into the north and west. And even for parts of upper southern Maryland. So we're talking places like College Park, we're talking Bowie, we're talking even Brandywine, maybe even down towards Akakie and even Indian Head in Charles County, over towards areas like Crofton and Annapolis. So if you're in those zones, be aware. And then we're going to transition over to rain after about midnight Sunday, going through probably the first half of the day on Monday. And we might not even see that much while we could see some dry slots work in, which would be good. We could preserve some of that snow, but if it rains consistently, we will wash all of that snow away, and then we'll get into phase 2. That coastal storm really does favor areas to our north. So from DC to Baltimore, points north and west, I could see an additional 4 to 8 inches on top of what you already have. Now, down to the south, we're going to be talking about a forecast that's really dependent on where those snow totals or where that snow band sets up. I have 2 to 4 and then 1 to 2, but it's possible that Monday, going to Monday evening, and maybe even Tuesday morning, you don't see this much because those snow bands might not work into our region. But I do think most of us do switch over to a period of some light snow showers Monday afternoon and evening. We'll get into that timing in just a second. And again, that's really going to favor areas to the north. So this is probably what you're going to see left on the ground after the system, if that rain does indeed wash away the first part of this storm. If we were to add everything together, how much are we talking? I think much of the region, 4 to 8 or 3 to 6. I really think from about St. Leonard to about Loveville, areas north, that's going to be that dividing line for you, from 4 to 8 to 3 to 6. Much of what falls in southern Maryland will be primarily falling on Sunday. So much of this is Sunday. Areas north and west, that's 6 to 12, potentially even more. That will be coming in part from tomorrow, but mainly from Monday. So we have 2 different systems we're tracking. Sunday and Monday. our region, we're under that winter storm warning only up until 7 p.m. tomorrow. The National Weather Service wants to see how things transpire, so it's possible that tomorrow evening for a period, we're not under any winter weather alerts. If we zoom things on in, I know this really helps to answer questions too. If you're not seeing your town name down below, here's a look at this map kind of zoomed in on southern Maryland. I think we're talking a general 3 to 5, 4 to 6 for much of the region. So Lesby 3 to 5, Dunkirk 5 to 7, Scotland and Valley Lee down towards Callaway, Piney Point, probably about 2 to 4. Northern part of the county, Mechanicsville, Golden Beach, Charlotte Hall, probably 4 to 6. As we head over towards Charles County, Cobb Island, probably about 2 to 4, 3 to 5. Then over towards Indian Head and Bryan's Road, 6 to 8. And that's kind of going to be the theme here. The southern parts of these counties, especially that southern tip of St. Mary's County, you will not see as much as the rest of the region. Areas further north, you will see more because you will probably see snow last longer on Sunday. And then those totals up towards DC, Bowie, Annapolis, Manassas, Warrenton, you're also then adding in totals that are coming from Monday's coastal system. So again, snow is likely Sunday. That's going to be the bulk of our totals. We will transition to an icy mix and then rain overnight. Maybe transitioning back to snow Monday afternoon, but that's if this system is really able to get its act together. Here's a storm timeline for you. With snow, the highest impacts from snow will be tomorrow afternoon and evening. Those will begin to dwindle a little bit as we start to enter into that period where we switch over to rain. Phase 2 could start to get its act together Monday afternoon, with those highest impacts potentially between about 3 and 9 o'clock Monday evening. So with that, we will be talking about travel difficulties that last throughout Sunday and likely going into Monday. I do not expect very many things to be open on the day on Sunday. If we were in a non-pandemic world, I would not expect schools to be open on Monday. I am not a school official, though. I am not that savvy with what every county in Southern Maryland is doing in terms of its learning, virtual, hybrid, in the classroom, not. And I don't know if they would even do snow days. But if this was a non-pandemic world, we would not be talking about any school likely on the day on Monday. Winds could start to become an issue as we head over towards Monday as that coastal low gets going, especially for Bayside locations. We could be talking about wind gusts that are getting up towards about 30 to 35 miles an hour, especially from areas like Point Lookout and Ridge up towards about Cove Point, Drum Point, over towards Calvert Beach, up along Willows, Chesapeake Beach, North Beach, Shadyside, Edgewater, over towards Annapolis. Those regions could be talking about some gusty winds, especially on Monday. Tomorrow, winds should not be too gusty. And again, we're at that level 5. So we're looking at a lot. If we take a look over at how things are shaping up right now, let's switch things over here a little bit. We're going to move this over here so I can play around with radar a little bit. We are currently sitting at 30 degrees at Leonardtown. Cold air is here. Cold air is coming in from the south. We can already start to see precipitation beginning to move into parts of North Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky. And the core of our storm system is getting its act. You can see the spin here and all the arrows, how they kind of spin around, showing the winds really here in parts of Missouri. This looks to be a little further south than we had initially thought, but we'll see if it doesn't track a little bit more north. But this kind of shows you what will happen tomorrow. You see this initial band right here. This will be what moves through around 7 o'clock. I would imagine this will fill in behind it, but it's also possible that we see some snow from 7 to 8, and then we don't see much until about 10 or 11. That is also very much a possibility. That wouldn't really affect our snowfall totals. If it lasts more than a couple hours, then we would have to start to bring them down. But that is, again, just something I'm going to be upfront about. I'm not someone who's going to BS you and tell you something that's not going to happen. I'm going to be very transparent with my forecast with you and let you know what it is I'm seeing and try to convey that in a way that I think would help you. So this is our storm system right now. What do our models show happening? Let's switch it over here. I'm going to bring this back over here. Let's look at it. This is going to be, actually, what I want to do is show our North American model. This does a pretty good job and allows me to get into a radar type mode. So this right here, and you can see Southern Maryland is right in here. This is the state of Maryland. You can kind of pinpoint where you are. As you push this forward, this is going to be 1 o'clock. You see that initial band we were just looking at beginning to push into the southern Shenandoah Valley. This is 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Again, between 4 and 7, that initial band begins to move in. The North American model suggests that we see some snow fill in a little bit with this, so maybe we don't get that break. But as we head over towards 6 and 7 o'clock, again, we start to look at the snow become a little bit more steady. Some dry slots are possible, so maybe if you're over towards Cobb Island, you see some snow, then you see an hour or two where you don't. Moving this forward, though, towards about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock now. Actually, this would be... Yeah, so 12 o'clock, you can see we are looking at snow across the region. We're beginning to see that wintry mix begin to penetrate areas of central Virginia, already starting to see sleet down towards Richmond. This salmon color here, this is indicative of sleet. The more pink purplish color, that is indicative of freezing rain. But we're looking at snow here in southern Maryland. If we take a look at the temperatures that this has at the surface, we're sitting at 31, 32. That's why this is going to be a wet snow. But the upper levels of the atmosphere are going to be very cold. If I show you that, and this is going to be in Celsius, so it won't be -5 above our heads, but we will be about 5 to 10 degrees below freezing in even the lowest levels of the atmosphere. So this will fall as all snow across our region. Beginning to push this forward, we want to get the precipitation typing on. Another thing I do want to show you is that, if I can get this in a spot, there we go. You can see we see some darker shades across our region in the northern neck. This is how we could add maybe another inch or two onto our snow totals on top of what I'm forecasting, if this does indeed verify and we do indeed see a period of heavier snow that lasts a couple of hours. This is headed over towards 1 and 2 o'clock. You see those banding features beginning to become a little bit more prominent, but that sleet line is already coming up towards areas like Spotsylvania and King George County, and you can see some dry slots beginning to work in out to our west that can move into our region after sunset. Moving this forward still, this is going to be 6 o'clock in the evening. Heavy snow is trying its hardest to hold on, to stay with us. Moving this forward to 7 o'clock. Rain is now beginning to enter that southern tip of St. Mary's. We still have these bands of heavy snow trying to move through the region. Continuing this on forward towards 8 and 9 o'clock, you can see this should be a pretty easy transition over to rain. However, if we see warmer air aloft, but we stay at or below freezing locally, then we will see a period of maybe a couple of hours of a little bit of sleet and freezing rain. We don't want to see that. We want that smooth transition over to rain. Snow continues up to the north. And you see that's rain line does have a hard time moving further north. We are now getting over towards about 10 o'clock at night. Most of us are over to rain. We're even seeing some dry slots work in. And this is why we have the higher ice forecast for areas along in north and west at I-95. You can see freezing rain and sleet beginning to work in out there. Moving us forward towards 11 and 12 o'clock, and now 1 o'clock, we see it looks like the storm's coming to an end. And we have that wintry mix pushing into southern parts of Pennsylvania. Rain showers could continue across the area throughout the night, but I wouldn't surprise me if this does indeed verify and we see areas of dry air work into the system. This here is going to be shown for 5 a.m. in the morning, going over towards 6, 7, 8, 9. Not much is going on, a little bit of rain, and even up to the north where they will see higher snow totals. Just because we have the coastal low slowly getting its act together, we're not looking at that much. 10 o'clock in the morning, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. And now with that coastal low definitely getting itself together. So again, Monday morning, it's either we're seeing rain or we're seeing nothing, right? But as that second phase starts to get its act together, we start to see, we just back this up a couple hours, you can see how we have everything from the north and east working its way south and west with cooling temperatures that would help to cool us down a little bit, bring in some rain, freezing rain, maybe a little bit of snow. And we see snow showers start to really get together across our region and continue this. So if we back it up a little bit, this is 4 o'clock, 5. So 4 o'clock p.m., 5 o'clock p.m. Monday, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning. I think my timing's a little off. 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11. No. Sorry, no, this is 1 o'clock. Sorry. 1 p.m. Monday. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight. There we go. That looks a little better. And then 1 a.m. So this is where this specific model ends. But you see, we have some bands and waves of heavier snow moving into the region throughout the day. How much snow did this model put down? A decent amount, and this looks a lot like our forecast. Locally in southern Maryland, this puts down a decent 5 to 7 inches. That's what a lot of these forecast amounts down here are showing. More up on the Blue Ridge, more to the north and west. However, is it possible we see more snow? I will show you a model that does just that. This is going to be what we call the RGEM model, RGEM. This is the High Resolution Canadian model. I'm going to make sure I have this in a spot where I can see it. And again, this will show you the potential of, there we go, of how we could maybe see a little bit more snow than forecasted. So let's move this forward, and I need to move this back up just slightly. There we go, so I can get that timing right this time. So as we move forward, this is going to be 5 a.m. in the morning, 6 a.m. in the morning, 7 a.m. in the morning. This model is a little slower with what comes in. At 7 o'clock, it only has it in parts of Charles County and Westmoreland County. By 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, then this model starts to have snow moving, maybe a little bit more moderate snow moving into the region. So as we push this forward towards about 4 o'clock, we have moderate snow across the region. One of those heavier bands tries to set up across our region. As we head towards 5 and 6 and 7 o'clock, look at how this heavier band just sits over our region. And then 8, 9, 10 o'clock, that sleet line's there, but it's really trying its hardest to not budge. It keeps that heavier band across our region. And as we continue to push this forward, this doesn't have us going over till rain. This is at midnight. This is still a snow. Rain eventually gets into the area. This is about 4 o'clock in the morning. And then that sleet gets further north. How much snow does this put down just with phase 1? This is a colder, snowier solution. That gives you a Calvert County bullseye with that kind of a setup. But more snow across our region. This would, I'm forecasting 2 to 4 storm total and point lookup. This would have 5 to 6 just with the first wave. Now, the next part I show you, this is a little extreme, and I know it is because I just saw it, and I was like, wow. So do not get too excited when I show you what this part looks like. But as we push this forward towards 6, 7, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12, this would be 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. It has sleet over our region. If I show you the sleet totals it has so far, it has a decent amount of sleet coming into our region, freezing rain, a little bit of freezing rain coming in. But this really starts to get a decent amount of snow, that heavier band we were talking about, setting up from about northern Virginia through northern Maryland into southern Pennsylvania. And this model gets very aggressive with how it wants to look at this. It tries to bring it in right to our region. So this is going to be something that needs to be watched. This is a potential, very rare to even show the snow map, but this would be at around 7 o'clock in the evening on Monday. And moving this forward, this just keeps that snow band. Look at that. It just keeps it across our region. This, what I'm going to show you, is the worst case scenario. And keep in mind, so this is midnight on Tuesday. I'm going to play you through the entire day Tuesday. This keeps snow in our region the entire day Tuesday. This snow would not break up until 1 a.m. Wednesday in this scenario. So do not hug this, please. But what this puts out, whoa, lots of bright colors. And I know a lot of big numbers here. This is the uppermost extent. There is probably a 1 in 10 chance the forecast happens this way. It is not likely at all, but it shows you. You see this darker grayish color, pinkish color, purplish color? This will sit up somewhere on the East Coast. I think this is going to be further to the north, but it's possible it's right here. It's possible it comes further down to the south. We'll see. This puts a lot of snow in our region. I'm going to click off of it quick so you all can't get too many screenshots of it. But that would be what a lot of snow lovers would want to see. So we'll see if that's possible. In that case, we would see snow lasting a lot longer than I currently have. My forecast, though, is going to stick with this as a timeline for you. That's too extreme for me. I'm going to stick with what I showed you with the NAM, the NAM model. I will see quickly what questions, if any, that I have. Worst case, you mean best case? Yeah, I mean, if you're a snow lover, yeah, that would be best case. Let's go, Arjem. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. We'll see. When it's supposed to start in Calvary, it sounds like all this is happening Monday. No, Julia, most of what's going to happen in Southern Maryland will actually happen Sunday. That will start in Calvert County probably around 7 o'clock or so on Sunday. Snow most of the day here on Monday, or on Sunday, rather. Heaviest in the afternoon and evening, tapering off over to rain by about between 8 and 12 o'clock in the evening, going over to rain, then maybe a little bit more snow on Monday. You might have just come in right as I was showing you that RGEM model. That was a little bit of a crazy run, but you might have just come in when I was showing you that, and you're like, wow, that's going to be a lot of snow across our region. I don't necessarily buy that too much. What I will show you next will be the European model. This just came in. I'm just not looking at it for the first time. I think this could be a very plausible way that this puts out a solution. So let me bring this down. So as you move this forward to, this would be 4 in the morning. It already has snow moving in. 7 o'clock in the morning, this has snow all the way up to Baltimore. The European model does. That more moderate snow back to our west, getting ready to move in. By about 1 o'clock p.m., sorry, that was 10 o'clock. This is now 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This has moderate snow already through much of the region. And some heavy snow, that band starting to set up across central Virginia, pushing this forward towards about 7 o'clock in the evening. This holds off the heaviest, that icing potential a little bit longer. It sets up that heavy snow band right across our region here in the evening. That is very possible. That would increase totals across our region. Going over towards 1 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening. It continues to hold this on way longer than I think it probably would. Moving this forward towards 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock, that would put down a lot of snow, I would imagine. I'm looking at this for the first time. Yeah, that really bullseyes our region for potentially some of the heavy snow from round 1. You see that extending across central Virginia through parts of our neck of the woods. This would be the result of that were to happen, between about 4 to 7 inches in our region tomorrow. My forecast again is 3 to 6 or 2 to 4. This could be a little overdone, but the potential is definitely there for this to happen. And I'm being transparent about that, so if it does happen tomorrow, I don't want you all to be like, JB didn't call it, the forecast was wrong. I'm acknowledging that is possible. But it gets that sleet and freezing rain line well to the north. This is getting over towards 10 a.m. on the day on Monday. This has rain continuing in our region. By 1 p.m. Monday, 4 p.m. Monday, look how it sets that heavy snow band with the coastal low to our north. That is what I think will happen with this. So areas from Harrisburg, Mechanicsburg, where I am, through parts of the Lehigh Valley over towards Allentown, northern New Jersey could see the highest snow totals from this. If this were to set up like this, towards 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., you see, it never really gets that snow band into our region. That's what I'm the most wary about. This is going on the day Tuesday, so this could be a theme that we see snow showers on Tuesday. This gets what almost kind of looks like almost like a Bay Effect snow band going, and then this eventually gets it out of here Tuesday night. How much snow did this model put down in total? Storm total. I know this is a bright map with a lot of big numbers. This has between about 5 to 8 inches, so this would pretty much fall now at that 4 to 8 forecast. More again to the north, so Harrisburg 19.1, Lebanon, Pennsylvania 22 inches, Allentown about 17 inches, Philadelphia about 14. Maybe getting near a foot in Baltimore. So I think that this is a very plausible way the forecast turns out. The totals are low, even though we start with phase 1 with higher totals. In this specific model, the European model, even though we start with the higher snow totals, we never see those snow bands wrap around back into our region. So most of what this is what follows with phase 1. So if I come back over here to our forecast, and let's bring it back here. Yeah, most of what this map is in our region is from phase 1. Let me see if you have any more questions. I kind of went off on a tangent there. I told my husband he needs to learn to trust your forecast. You're originally from Solomon's, and that's true. Yeah, I try. I definitely try to get my forecast right. Thank you, Deborah. Why not Eurolean at all? Actually, I would probably favor the European model at this point. I think that is a very plausible situation. Is it right to say that even small shifts in the coastal north or south could drastically alter Monday's events? Carrie, that is 100% right. If the coastal low tracks 20 miles to the north, if I bring it back over to the European model here, 20 miles north brings all these totals 20 miles north. If we talk like a 20 to 50 miles south to the shift, 20 to 50 mile shift to the south, gotta get my words right, that would push all of that further south. So that is 100% possible. And that would have big impacts. You need to see how close to the coast is this. Is it going out to sea? Is it going up the coast? Is it going out to sea? There's a lot of different questions I have with this. And we will not know the answer to this the coastal low forms. We won't know any of this till it forms. And it probably will not form until, Monday morning. So we won't have the answers really until then. All right, JB, what's the prediction for St. Mary's? Kelsey, no! I have the snow forecast down below. Actually, St. Mary's is going right now. I was hoping to avoid one of those questions. I got you down below. We have a whole bunch of locations in St. Mary's. I'll be up on my computer. Oh, yeah, Stephen, I'll be up most of the time. Maybe a little nap after this. We'll see. 11 years ago this week, we had the big storm in 2010 that we did. Actually, 10 years ago, or 11 years ago today, we had a southern siding storm. This doesn't get a lot of attention, but it brought our region 6 to 12 inches of snow. That was before the big blizzard. Let's see. You always call the best. I try, Mary. Thank you. Will it be best to stay in on Monday? Will we be getting impacted in Lexington Park on Monday? Yeah, I don't think traveling Monday. I don't think a lot of this on Monday. I don't think a lot will happen on Monday. While there might not be that much that goes on in the morning, or there could just be rain, we could see snow redevelop in the afternoon with the coastal low. That's a big question mark, though. But I don't think if you have to plan out Monday, I wouldn't suggest anything. Monday morning might be a good time to shovel. If the kids want to go sledding, I would say Sunday while it is snowing, because there will probably not be time Monday where you can get a nice, clean snowpack to sled on. Because then we'll go over sleet, freezing rain. Even if we don't see much rain, like 5 to 6 hours, it's still going to be rather muggy outside, or like gloomy outside. I'm glad you like the ticker, Mary. Thank you. I have to go to work. 7 on Sunday at 3 in the morning. Is that supposed to say Severn? I have to go to work in Severn, maybe? But Sunday, you report at 3 in the morning and you clock out at 1 p.m. I think I'm reading that correct. It's a little weird on my screen, so maybe I'm just not saying that correct. You're gonna have issues. Maybe not getting to work, but getting out of work, Kevin, you would have issues. And yes, Carol, I'm in Pennsylvania. Back on this map. Let me get it to where it won't really show that much. I am right here. Right around here. That is where I live. Alright, let's see. What do you think the chances of getting into a lull tomorrow night during the energy? Stephen, I think it is very likely that happens. I just showed, 3 different models that all show a lull. I think it is very likely we go through a period tomorrow where we don't see a lot. And I remember we had a storm, the last storm to give us winter storm warnings happened back in 2019, January 2019. The same said we had a primary low, brought us a lot of snow during the day, and then we transitioned over to sleet and rain, and then 2 to 4 hours of nothing. A lot of people thought the forecast had busted. The coastal low wouldn't bring snow. They were saying JB's forecast is wrong. Sure enough, though, the coastal low formed. Granted, everything with that was further south, but I think it's very likely. I'm using that as a good analog. I think it's very likely that we see a lull tomorrow. Charlestown, West Virginia total, probably about 9. If I come back over here to the graphics and back one, Charlestown, West Virginia, sorry, you're down about here, probably about 9 to 12, I'd imagine. So it sounds like people planning on church. Yeah, Lori, I was actually going to include that in my write-up. Again, I don't know if church services back in Southern Maryland are going on right now, given the pandemic. If they are, I would probably cancel church services. If I was like a pastor, I would say no church tomorrow because of the snow. If I was a school superintendent, I would say no school on Monday. That would be that's what I would do. I'm in neither of those positions though. So. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. JV's. Thank you. What time does it start Sunday morning? If I come back here, a couple of slides. It's somewhere in here. Here we go. Snow start time. Probably about 7 o'clock locally. As early as 4, maybe as late as 10. I would say 7 o'clock, though, is probably a good start time to start to expect to see some sort of snow showers. Lauren, thank you. When should it start Lower St. Mary's? Right around 7 o'clock or so. No worries, Chris, no worries. Larry wants to know about Dunkirk. You're probably going to start probably right around 7. And I think I have a Dunkirk place on the snow forecast. So that'll be coming up here in just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, my birthday is November 21st, so I don't get snow that often. But I'm happy that some of you do get birthday snow. That would be great. Thank you for following, Ginger. I appreciate that. And thank you, Karen. Thank you. Let's see. BG is already calling to warn that power may go out in Chesapeake Beach. That wouldn't surprise me. What I actually do want to show you all, but for those of you that are still sticking around, thank you. But what I do want to show you is not just snow totals, because a lot more will be going on than just that. If I show you the winds, wind gusts, let's move this forward. Let me try to bring this down a little bit so you can get a good view here. So this is going into tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. We begin to see the winds pick up a little bit, gusting up to 20. I mean, in this model, so this is 7 p.m. And then 8 p.m. starts to get some gustier winds, especially there on the tip of St. Mary's County. But as we continue this on forward, I mean, getting into Monday night or Sunday night into Monday morning, this starts to get those wind speeds up a little more. They'll probably be the highest along the Jersey Shore and the Delmarva, up along the Atlantic beaches. But, I mean, these winds continue to go on. So it would not surprise me if up towards areas like New Jersey and New York, it classified this as a blizzard because they will see falling snow, lower visibility, and gusty winds. And then the winds with this coastal low continue to go. If I actually take this back a little bit and I want to zoom out to the entire East Coast, which you will be able to see, and look right around in here, you can see how the coastal low forms. You can see the winds going around, and it forms almost kind of like an eye feature. Look at that right in here. You can see the center of circulation really get going. And then it sits off the coast before finally drifting away. Slowly but surely. So winds will be an issue. Apparently maybe even a little bit for tomorrow. Hey, Dan. Hello. Praying no power outages, Karen. We will hope for the best with that. And if you lose power, I will be here on JB Weather. You can keep your phone charged in your car, and I'll be providing live updates. Oh, thank you, Ren. I appreciate that. Thank you. Just tuning in. What is St. Mary's getting? Kathy. Oh, St. Mary's County's finishing. You might have seen St. Mary's County there at the bottom of the ticker, potentially. But the snowfall totals for St. Mary's will be shown down below. It probably starts around 7 o'clock for you, Kathy. Snow is the best. Now, what's the thought for Ridgely, Maryland? I think I know where that is. I think. Let me come back over here. Mid-Atlantic. No, let's actually just come here. Let me look that up. Ridgely. We said what? Ridgely, Maryland. Ridgely. Caroline County. That's why I thought I knew that. Not too far away. Ridgely. Getting to the probably about 3 to 6-ish. You might get in on some snow bands on Monday, though. That would allow for a little bit more snow. And thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. Do I plan on going to meteorology since I moved to Alicia? That was no. This is about the extent to which I feel comfortable pursuing. I have always had two different passions with meteorology and with education. I am already living out my meteorology dream right now doing this, so I'm pursuing my education goals as well. So I will graduate with a degree of middle level education in science and social studies in about a year and a half. Mostly rain tomorrow night. When does the snow start again? Monday or Tuesday? Probably not until the evening. If I come back here a couple slides, and it was literally a couple slides, snow probably wouldn't begin until you get to that like darker green, probably between about 3 and 6 would be when that would start. What's the best time you think to travel from Ocean City to Leonardtown tomorrow? Gwen, I don't think any time is good. I would leave now. Anytime after like 7 o'clock is not going to be a good time to do that. But even then, you'll get to Ocean City by 10 and there will already be snow. So maybe leave at like 4. Like early morning. Like you should go to bed now to wake up to be able to head out. Hey there. Hey there. Let's see. I am definitely a snow lover. That I am. I mean, I'm pretty good with geography by and large. I know where a lot of things are. These smaller towns, Ridgely, Maryland, has a population of 1,700, and it's on the way up here. So I did not know that off the top of my head, but if you throw me a town name in Southern Maryland, I could probably tell you where it is. Try to point to it at least. And normally, like, someone will say something crazy, and I won't know, but it'll be like a smaller town. I love what you do for us and say, of course, Susan. Suzanne. What's travel around the Beltway going to look like tomorrow around 8 p.m.? We'll be coming back from the hospital. Lull, rain, wind, freezing rain. Thanks. All right, Leon, let's answer your question. I'm going to come back. I will show you one model I have, and thank you for the 238 of you on Facebook, 3 on Periscope, and 3 on YouTube for still watching. It shows me that you are very interested in this stuff. I could talk about this all day, and I will be tomorrow. Give me 1 second while I get this loaded. I'm going to get down to, this is what we call a HER model. I think it does a pretty good job, by and large, showing events. So let's bring this down a little bit. So the Beltway, this is DC, so Beltway's right around here. So let's play this forward. Let me move this up a little bit. So this, you're asking about 8 o'clock. I'll show you 8 o'clock here in a second. This would be about 4 in the morning. The HER model brings the snow in a little earlier, 5, 6, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Look at what this model does, though. Do you see these dark, deep blues and navy blues? This would be indicative of heavy snow, and this would allow for heavier snow to accumulate. This right here would be noon tomorrow. 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. It continues. I mean, look at that. And that brings that sleet line a little bit further to the north. And this starts to get the sleet into southern St. Mary's by about 6 p.m. This would be about 7. I feel like my numbers are off. The model does not give me a clear-cut timestamp. For those of you weather nerds, you know that this comes in Z time, and I'm not the best at calculating that on the spot. My apologies. This would be 4 o'clock. So the HER model gets sleet into our region by 4. This would be, so 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So while we see heavier snow, it switches us over a lot quicker. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. It keeps us with some decent sleet totals throughout the evening before finally switching over to rain. So you wanted to know about 8 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock. This is what this model shows. So snow if you're traveling from like Montgomery or Fairfax County, sleet around Prince George's into southern Fairfax. If you're traveling south, it's sleet, but this sleet line is moving north and it's moving fast. How much snow does this put down through phase 1? That is a very good question. I will answer it. This puts the heaviest totals closer to our region. This would suggest maybe, I mean, that's a 5.3 down there towards Scotland. That's a 6.2 at Pax River, 5.6 in Leonardtown. That's a 5.5 in Quantico, 6 in Fredericksburg. So this would put down between about 5 to 6 inches of snow. moving this forward, the snow becomes, oh, the model only goes out 48 hours. The snow becomes becomes heavier and more confined to the north. If I bring this back a little bit, let's come back over here to Forecast radar. There we go. See, that state line comes north. And then this would be right around 3 o'clock in the morning, a lull. So I would actually probably expect a lull in the activity Sunday night into Monday morning. Rain begins to try to move back in. This is 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Then we see the snow beginning to crash back to the south, 11 a.m. This would be noon. This would be 1 o'clock. So I'm sure if the model continued out, it would show even more snow. This would suggest a southern solution. So where I'm at in Mechanicsburg near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the forecast is either 5 inches or like 30. How do you forecast that? That's my forecast for Southern Maryland and not up here. But so where this heavy snow band sets up, and if I switch this over to a mode that all the other models look like, oh, actually, that's not even snow, that's sleet. I'm not sure I would trust this. So let's come back here because that doesn't seem right to me. Wherever this heavier band sets up is going to be really key. If it's to the north, we're talking areas up north getting more snow. If it's to the south, areas like Southern Maryland could see a little bit more snow. So, Leanne, I hope that answered your question. Hey, hello, Meredith. Hello, long time no see. Let's see, my high school senior and college sophomore are giddy about the prospect of snow, even if it's only, we haven't had snow in so long, so I'm sure that they're excited. My senior year of high school, we had a lot of snow that year, 2013, 2014. And then when I was in 8th grade was the 2009, 2010 winter. Those were great winters. 2009, 2010, we saw weeks of no school. Let's see, Phyllis. I can add Belle Alton for tomorrow. Actually, I don't even know if the snow forecast will be needed. Actually, it probably will be. So for tomorrow, I'll expect Belle Alton to be added. But I believe Newburgh is on there. Newburgh isn't too far away, so I would use that for tonight. Will this be a dry snow that blows around or heavier snow? Beth, I would expect this to be more of a wet snow. This is going to be great if you want to make a snowman, a snowball. This will be great for that. You could be like DW from Arthur and keep this snowball from the first time it snowed in Southern Maryland in ages. It has been over 750 days since our last 3-inch plus snowfall. What time can we expect this to start? I think that might actually still be up over here. No, it's not. I moved it. Let's see. Here you go. About 7 a.m. or so. That's what I would think. Alicia, I am pursuing meteorology right now. Like, this is exactly what I would be doing. So if I I initially went to school for meteorology. I got about 2 to 3 years into that degree. If I pursued that, I would be doing exactly what I'm doing now, and I can do that without going into the college debt for it. So I'm still getting a college degree for education, but I love being able to live out my dream like this because I get to do it on my terms, and I don't have to go by any sort of big media president telling me what I need to do. Kathy, what about Scotland? So Scotland's going to be coming up here on the snow forecast ticker here in a second. I believe that total was 2 to 4, if I remember correctly. You'll see it, though, and it'll probably start around 7. Hopefully it's snow versus... Oh, yeah, the frozen precip is horrible to try, Leon. You would much rather want to drive in snow than ice. At least with the snow, you can get a little bit of traction with that. With ice, you're just sliding. I should be everyone's favorite weatherman, but thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. Charles County is getting snow with ice cap. Oh, God, no one wants to see the ice. Thankfully, the ice should sit up a little further to the north. The ice fort, yeah, it should. But I mean, if you're like Bryan's Road, and like Indian Head, and I'm sure I could probably find some more town names. I should just have a map loaded next to me the entire time so I can get you like some town names all the time. So we would be talking, I'm looking at a map now, hence why I'm not looking at anyone. So like Indian Head, Marbury, Passai, over towards 224. Charleston Gardens. See, look at this. I'm getting all these town names now. No one's catching me off guard. Bentonville, Akakie, Piscataway. You can maybe see a little bit more ice than anyone. I don't mind the snow as long as I don't have to go out in it. I feel this. Too. It sounds like it depends where the low pressure. Kimberly, that is the $100 million. This is if you could give me that, I would. If you could tell me where the low will set up, I would give anyone the lottery amount right now. Because that is a big question. Where does the low set up? If I show you the European model, and I'm just getting it loaded here so I can show you. I'm going to come back over here. Okay, so you can see this is our primary low here. As it continues, and you see the snow. I don't need to go through the timing right now. We went through this model once. I'm showing you what it is with our lows, though. This low, it brings into Kentucky. And this time yesterday, it had this low. Well, not this model, but several other models had it all the way up getting near Pittsburgh. So this southern track with the low would be fantastic. It dies off, though. You see how that L went away? High pressure continuing to stay strong up to the north. And look, this would be good. This would be very good. Look at where... Don't look at that. But it transfers that all the way down to the Carolina coast. It takes a while to get its act together. Look at these. This number here, it's hard to see. It says 1,006. That's 1,006 millibars. What you need to know is that is a strong inland low. This transfers its energy. It's roughly about the same strength, but it's not that strong for an ocean-based storm. So it would take its act. That's why we see a lull in the activity. But this is a little further out. But look how it kind of dances around. You see that? It just shifts like 25 to 50 miles to the west. And then it comes right up. If this were to happen, I don't think I can move the screen over at all. Actually, what I can do, though, this is going to zoom me out way far. I know, this is way far. Look where we are. Look at this high pressure here and this low pressure here. These two will work in tandem to ensure that this has to just dance around for a couple days. And look, that's exactly what it does. It just has to dance around. It can't move out to sea. This is getting into Tuesday evening. It begins to eventually move a little further to the north. It's still dancing around near Maine, though. Those highs are still there. It can't go through. It has to wait for them to weaken. So, where that low tracks is important, though. If it's to the southeast and it's able to head, instead of going up, it's able to go out, that would be good. Let's see, just logged in. Hey there, Nancy, longtime viewer. Time it'll start 7 or so. And I believe Nancy, I believe you're in Charles County, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But for most of us, about 7 o'clock. Let it snow. Yes. Worst, best case for Harrisonburg, Virginia. So down towards Harrisonburg, you are down south. You're mainly only going to see snow from the first wave. Look at this. Phase 1, you're looking pretty good to see snow. Phase 2, it's to your north and east. So 4 to 8, I think your best case is closer to 8. Yeah, it's probably a little closer to 8. Now I have, let's see, I have to call my mom and talk to her. I don't only trust in your forecast. Thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate that. So I'm out for Harrisonburg. Again, Harrisonburg, I believe, I hope so at least, should be on that bottom ticker for you, 4 to 8. Oh, thank you, Megan. I appreciate that. I missed what is Charles County, Maryland. Crystal, Charles County just went by. But the Charles County numbers will be at the bottom for you. But it's probably starts around 7 o'clock or so tomorrow. And then goes over to a period of freezing rain. And maybe some rain and maybe a little bit of a lull by about 7 p.m. How much for Southern Maryland? Heidi, no. Do not ask that question. It is right down there at the bottom. And the map is up for you right here. It's fine. I know people come in late. I know. I'm just teasing. You're good. Thank you, Kara. Thank you, Kathy. At their worst school, would you be called? Yes. If I come forward here a couple of slides. Oh, wait, I think I just went right by it. It just blew right past me. Look at these travel delays. This will not be all cleared up by tomorrow. So if there were to be school happening in session on Monday, if kids get on the bus between, 6 and 9, travel difficulties would be likely. The schools would be closed. 100% they'd be closed. And Chris, I want mostly snow too. Fingers crossed, maybe we can get another storm that gives us mainly snow. And thank you, Kathleen, for following. Watch for my mother and grandmother, other than myself. I told them I trust you or my mother. They've been asking. Well, Lindsay, Lindsay Benson, you can tell your mother and grandmother. I say hello and tell them 3 to 6 inches of snow is possible. Maybe more. I won't promise it though. How much for the Plata? Oh, here we go. You got it right. Charles County. There goes the Plata right under my head. 5 to 7. You don't include far southern Maryland, Ticker, Ridgepoint, Lookout, Scotland. I think I do. Did this update? I know Scotland's included. I do know that. But nevertheless, Scotland is close enough to those other locations. Just kind of infer a little bit. It should be on there, though. I'm going to make sure right now. I'm sure that it'll come up here before I can even get to it. Yeah, so for St. Mary's County, there's Scotland, St. Mary City, Valley Lee, Callaway, Piney Point's on there. So I got you. There it goes. You'll see it. There goes Callaway. What time is the lonely activity tomorrow? It probably won't be till the evening, so after sunset. So I would say where you see that on the snow line on this graphic, where you just see white, where there's no impact, that's where there could be a lull in snow and rain. That's why the rain doesn't go any higher than like a dark green for an impact, because we could go to a pier where we don't see much at all. Noah has nothing. Okay, we all work together. We all look at the same information. So, but I do try my best. Thank you. Apparently, there was a lesbian there as well, so that'll pop up for you. Impact along the I-95 corridor. Husband's driving out of Jacksonville tomorrow. Brandy, I did see your message earlier, and I think I got back to it. I don't know if I did or not. But there's going to be issues for a lot of this. I mean, you're going to have about 3 to 6 inches of snow between D.C. and Richmond, and then a little bit of ice below that, then rain below that. So if you could maybe not do that tomorrow, that would be a good idea, or leave tonight. Alicia, the ticker is amazing. I thought so too. What's the forecast for Ridge? How much does it start and when? It's down at the bottom. I would use the Scotland number, about 2 to 4. And it starts probably around 7. What time for Calvert County? Around 7. I should have that in there too. I should have that into the ticker as well. The start time. So that would be a good idea. Maybe I'll do that for the next storm. But in Calvert County, I'd say around 7. I may be lost, but what time should this start for California? There you go. I got your count just in time, right around 7 or so. You should, Alicia, I do. This evening, and I ate most of it. My partner made me a decent amount of food. It's a pasta with chicken and mushrooms, and he gave me 2 more meals so I could feed myself during this, which was awesome. And I have 2 boxes of goldfish on standby. That's how you know we're in storm alert. I dress up. I have pasta and goldfish. I know a lot of people here all I'm eating are carbs, which is 100% right. Love the ticker tape with thank you. I'm glad people like it. I'm glad. Didn't see Scotland Park Hall. Really? Here, it's going through now. I'm going to look at this because it shows up on my end that it should be there. So Leonardtown, Lexington Park. It does end. Oh, I see the issue. There are too many town names on it. That's the issue. People wanted too many town names. I am very sorry to anyone. At least it covers most of our region. Oh, so 60 town names is too many. I am noted. because where that ends at Lexington Park, my apologies. Oh God. Wow. That's embarrassing. Yeah, after that, it goes on to Mechanicsville, Morganza, Piney. Oh, and I can see that on my end. It just doesn't count. My apologies, Brandy. And I think my apologies to anyone else that I kind of pulled off and said, look at the ticker. But what I'll do to make up for it, my apologies. I'll bring this up for you. There we go. Watching it's not there. No, I just noticed that. I thought it was. Teacher here from the tech center. Me and my students follow you, and they are so excited for your forecast. They are crossing the... Mary, that would be great. I hope schools do close. I hope they do. And thank you all for following me. The ticker on the bottom is great. So happy to see some snow total potentials. I'm a snow lover, and I missed it so much. Yes, and it's great because we're finally seeing snow. It's been so long. Scotland wasn't on the ticker. Yeah, Janice. Yeah, I have too many town names. I need to go back to just doing 30, which means that there won't be as many town names, but at least it'll fit everything on there. 60 was too much for the computer to handle. Duly noted. To be the right Monday. How's the lull for Monday, Brandy? We will come back to that. That's this is still like the continental view. Let me get us back in here. We want Maryland. We want precip. We want reflectivity type. So that lull in the activity, look at this. So we see snow. We see that there could even be some dry spots with the snow. That's what this tells me. There could be dry spots scattered throughout here. And then you start to see some dry spots begin to try to develop down to the south. So these would start to develop. This is, because again, I'm not the best at mental math. This would be around 9 p.m. So 9 p.m., 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Monday, 11 p.m. Monday, 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 9 a.m. You get the idea. So I would mainly be in the morning. We don't see consistent waves of snow try to move back in until the evening. This would be verbatim 1 a.m. Tuesday, but much of Monday even could be a lull. We'll see. On the ticker, don't forget was, see, Teresa, that's the issue. Had that just gone out a little more, right after St. Mary's County is Westmoreland County. I mean, if I show you, let me see if I can't just get this up here. This might, yeah, there we go. So if I zoom in here, these are all the town names. This is what was supposed to show. All of this. This is initially what I had. We added all of these in. Yeah, so it stops right here. Everything else it does not show. All of this. So Westmoreland County should have been in there. Piney Point should have been in there. Point Lookout should have been in there. Scotland should have been in there. Westmoreland County should have been in there. Harrisonburg should have been in there. My sincerest apologies. Let's delete that. You get the idea. All right, to buckle down and take, yeah. No, Ryan, I know. Yeah, I know. So people will always have questions to ask. It's like, I could have the most detailed forecast, but someone will ask a question, and they're not even necessarily bad questions. It's just something I had not even thought of before. Yes, food. Water is ready. Coffee is ready to brew starting tomorrow morning. 2 boxes of goldfish on standby. Tara, God, that does not make me seem healthy at all. I'm trying to get better at it this year, though. But yes, they are on standby. They are right next to me. Yes. Well, Nancy, it's the Keurig, so no pot of coffee, but my little K-cups are ready to roll. Best and most I can. Thank you, Angelina. Just put Ridge in Scotland. Oh, Brandy, I wish that was there. And I think you just saw, if I were to bring that back up. you would see, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I exhausted this as well. I do a window. Yeah, I think I've done this too many times. Oh, there we go. Yeah, yeah, Ridge and Scotland were in there. A lot of places. I'll keep this up for a second. I know it's not the prettiest, it's just a Word document, but it gives you an idea. Hollywood and Lexington. Brandy, I know, but people really wanted Hollywood. When I asked people what they wanted, I got like 20 comments about Hollywood, which is not, it's okay. I can add Hollywood, but I will need to narrow this down. We'll need to do like a bracket, like it's March Madness, to see which town names make it. To trial and tweet. Yeah, Janice, yeah. I just wish I had known that beforehand. Charles County with a coat of ice. Yeah, so probably a little bit of a glaze of ice there for you, Alicia. Really appreciate your effort. Thank you, Brandy. Oh, what time does it start in California? Right around 7. Let's bring you back over here. Let's get you to that snow forecast start time. Several slides. But with using the software, I can't just pick and choose slides. I have to go through the entire slideshow, which is a downfall. But right around 7 o'clock. Yes, Sandy, today was a great day to prepare, even up here where I'm at. Again, either 5 inches of snow or 30 inches of snow. So we'll see. But today was a great day to get some pasta, get some goldfish, and hunker down. Bring on lots of snow. Yeah, Kelly, enjoy it while you can. I'm not sure the St. Mary's bubble is going to hold this time. Jennifer, I'm sure it will somehow. I'm sure somehow St. Mary's County specifically will find a way to bust this forecast. They do every time. Please make sure all pets. Yes, Karen, that's a very important point. Bring all your pets in. If it's too cold for you, it is way too cold for them. Well, Hollywood, see a lot of ice? Probably not. Maybe a glaze of ice. Hollywood's right in here. Maybe like a glaze of ice. And I think I've gotten to the bottom of the comments finally. So I hope that answered everyone's questions, comments. It's been fun. So I'm going to catch some Z's here for a little bit. Coverage will probably start tomorrow around 3-ish, 4-ish. We'll see. My body lately has been sleeping for more than 2 or 3 hours at a clip anyway, so it'll probably start at 11 p.m. tonight. But we'll see what time we can get this together. But we'll have live coverage. I will have live coverage all day tomorrow, all day Monday, all day Tuesday if needed. I'm here for you. My semester for the spring does not start till Thursday. And I thought it was comical that we went all winter break without a snow event. And I'm like, of course, because I'm on winter break. And we get one. At least it happened while I'm able to do all of this intense stuff right before the semester. During the semester, it's a difficult job to do. So, yeah. But we get this in, so I will be with you as long as need be to keep you covered. So stay tuned. I will continue to keep you updated. So you see the links down there. Facebook, Twitter, the website. The website is now in red mode, which I can show you quickly. So if you were to go over to the website, we want to bring this back up. Oh, that's so... Let's zoom out a little bit. Yeah, look at that. We got red mode in the house. Oh, you can't really even see it, but and then the snow in the background. So we are ready to go. I am ready. So everyone, have a good night. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's been a fun hour and 8 minutes so far of talking to you. If we have any new updates, I will be with you. Tomorrow we'll probably do maybe like updates every 90 minutes. I think that's a good interval to work with. So we will work with that for tomorrow. And I will be with you showing radar. So Twitter is an easy way to get constant updates. Facebook delays everything. So I did a lot of posts today, and I'm sure they all were very delayed for a lot of people. If you are on Twitter, you can get forecasts all the time over there. The website I try to keep updated. Patreon's another good way. That's patreon.com/jbweather. You can subscribe for as little as like $5 a month. I mean, that's what, a cup of coffee from Starbucks. So you can get that over there as well as some updates. I'll be updating that tonight as well. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, and I will continue to keep you updated. Have a nice and safe one, and keep it tuned right here to JB Weather, working to keep you ahead of the storm.
After a 2-year snow drought, accumulating snow is looking likely for southern Maryland. As snow moves into southern Maryland, turn to JB Weather for the latest. Forecaster John Bordash will be providing around-the-clock coverage, providing the latest analysis, forecast updates, and live reports to keep you and your family ahead of the storm. When winter weather strikes, JB Weather is looking out for you.